Welcome to the X Generation Fishing Report, Offshore Report. Let's talk about what's going on offshore.
Dolphin.
Oh, well, that's good.
Lots of dolphin, lots of weed.
There are a lot of dolphin. And the weeds around too, which makes it difficult and easy for dolphin fishing. It depends if it has it been more scattered or
It's
put together.
From what I gather, because I haven't been that far out, and I haven't been on the water, and well, today makes day 2. But Ryan, who works at X Generation Custom Rods, told me that they went out, they fished out to like 2,500 foot, and said the further we got, way out, and he said that they weren't big mats, they were like your swimming pool in your backyard, that size.
Oh, okay.
So and I just picture you start weaving around that stuff, trolling, and you're going to pick up some fish. They caught fish out there. So, I mean,
yeah. What I like to do is, if it's really scattered, I like to go to the bigger, parts. And I like, when I'm dolphin fishing, I don't like blind trolling anymore. I used to blind troll a lot. What blind trolling means when you don't see anything out there and you're just trolling. But when you start seeing weeds and there's weeds out there, like there has been over the last couple months, and debris out there. I mean, there's been, I saw a pallet coming back from the Bahamas a couple weeks ago. And we got some nice fish on those. And so when there's stuff like that, I like to run and gun, which means you don't start fishing until you see something. And then even when I see something, sometimes then I'll just start chunking, or I'll just start throwing a couple flashy lures, basically to see if I can get something to come up to the boat, and then start fishing. And don't sit there and chum for a half an hour.
You're wasting your chum.
Oh, chum for 3 minutes.
3-4 minutes?
Yeah.
If there's nothing shows up, move on.
And take your chum bag out of the water, put it back in your cooler so you keep using it, or a bucket or something.
Yep.
And then just keep doing that. And that really helps not only get you a better day, and catch more dolphin or better dolphin, but you're also, you're not wasting your time either. But at the same time, all my biggest dolphin have been blind trolling.
Oh, really?
I tell you this, I think all of my bigger dolphin have been all blind trolling. But
funny you say that. The biggest dolphin I've ever caught, which was right at 42 pounds, was blind trolling.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah. It's hit or miss, but when it's like, but that's usually when I knew there wasn't a lot of people seeing debris and weeds and stuff. So then you have no choice. You can't run around all day, for 6 hours looking for debris that's not there either. But right now there is debris, so that's the way I would fish it.
You're gonna waste a little time.
Yeah.
But you're really not wasting. Look, if you're looking for fish, you're not wasting time. You're doing what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's with the run and gun. And I love run and gun. It's my favorite thing to do. Is run from patch of weed to patch of weed to patch of weed, or run for 5 miles and do big giant loops until I find one thing in the water.
Yeah.
And it's that one thing every now and then. It's that one big tree that floated off of some island down in the Caribbean.
Yep.
And it's loaded with big dolphin. The best dolphin day I've had this year, it's been a few months. In the last couple of months, I really haven't got into any big fish when I'm way out offshore. But my best days were on just running and gunning, nothing, nowhere, all of a sudden, that one big object, one big wire spool that I found that one day. I got a triple tail off of it that was just a donkey-sized triple tail.
Nice, yeah.
So it's what's out there now is out there, and it's hit and miss. You got to put your time in, but as long as you're out there doing your thing, it's gonna happen eventually. Yeah. You're gonna get fish.
Oh yeah. And
kingfish. Should I roll into that now or just shut up?
Yeah, go.
Oh my God. And you probably say the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is one of the best kingfish bites I've heard. That's been good. It's been years since a bite like this. If you can't go out there right now between Boynton and Juneau and boat, if there's 5 of you, you're going to catch your 10 fish.
Boynton and Sebastian.
The further north you go, it's just more and more and more and more and more.
There is. So we fished a tournament this weekend, the Anglers for the Cure, and we had to leave certain areas that we were fishing because we could not keep a bait in the water for more than 2 minutes. We caught there was one spot in particular we caught 6 fish in 10 minutes, and they were all 8 to 10 pounds, 12 pounds at the most. And I looked at my buddy. I said, "You done with this area?" He goes, "We didn't give it a fair shot. Let's keep going." He puts another bait in the water, got another one. He goes, "Okay, let's leave," because we're looking for bigger fish. But every spot we went to, which probably we went to a dozen spots between here and Fort Pierce, every spot had kingfish, and every spot we were busy all day long, re-rigging, catching more fish, releasing fish, looking for bigger. It was crazy, and it continues to be like that. So kingfish is the hot fish. We got 3rd place in the Anglers for the Cure this weekend.
Congratulations,
so,
bro! That's pretty cool. Good for you.
Yeah. So we did all right. We were able to, in between fighting the small ones, we were able to get a big one. And not only that, the porpoise everywhere are really thick. Our big fish got chased by 3 porpoise the whole fight. And not only that, we finally, when we got him back to the boat, luckily they didn't touch him. But what happened was, he wasn't fighting us when we were fighting the fish. He was running from the porpoise the whole time, and we were chasing him down. We were literally on throttle the whole time, chasing the fish that's getting chased by a porpoise. And luckily, we had one chance where he was next to the boat, and I was able to gaff him right there. I mean, he was still had a ton of energy, but we got lucky.
I haven't heard anything about porpoise down here off Boynton. I guess there.
Not
I haven't.
But so if you go to Palm Beach,
the further you go north, and then from what I've heard, folks, that Juneau Ledge up there in Juneau, they're not these little 10-pounders. There's a lot of 15 to 25 pound fish up in the Juneau area on that ledge. The only thing I don't like about fishing up in that zone is there's so many people. It's just inundated with boats.
It's people and boats and divers and drift boats and sharks and bonita. I mean, every bad situation you can think of when it comes to fishing is in Juneau.
It's Juneau. And but there's some good-sized kingfish there.
Yes.
Which makes me think wahoo.
There were wahoo around this weekend, but they were small, in 20-pound range. I believe that a 20-pounder won the wahoo division in Anglers for the Cure, and also in the Mark Garrickson.
Go figure that. So, that's small fish, big money.
I think by this weekend the wahoo will start biting, because actually probably before the weekend. We're having some major tide swings right now. Are you noticing that?
Oh, buddy.
It's the lowest I've ever seen it.
Oh, my God.
And it goes up really. So the tide swings are huge right now.
It's scary how these tide swings are. I was doing an inshore trip 3 days ago. I did an inshore trip. And I took these folks in this one spot, and I said, you know what? We were having a really good day. We were all over tarpon up around the Palm Beach Inlet. And I said, you know what? I want to go try something else, something different. And they're like, please, just, whatever. They were having a ball. And I took them back to this spot, back by Mar-a-Lago. Mm-hmm. And I'm coming into this spot that I've been fishing since I was a kid. And I've never tapped bottom with the Skegami motor. I was jack plated up all the way, motor trimmed up, and tapped bottom, and went to neutral and just let the tide kind of drift us in a little. And the guy looked at me and said, "What's up?" And I said, "I've been fishing here all my life. That has never happened to me in my whole life." And we fished for a little bit, and then the tide, it wasn't an incoming tide, it was an outgoing tide. And I said, we got to get out of here, because I'm not going to get stuck on this flat.
Right.
This monster flat, but getting in and out, you could walk from the Southern Boulevard Bridge all the way to Everglades Island, walk across that whole oyster bar for a mile, which is usually, most of it's going to be a foot underwater or 2 foot underwater, and you'll see the little islands, but the tides it's insane.
In 20 years, I haven't seen the tide as low as it was yesterday.
So these major tides is good for wahoo bite.
Well, yeah, because when the tide swings are that big, especially on an outgoing tide, that's when the wahoo like to feed, and it's because all this stuff is getting pushed out towards that reef, and the wahoo,
blue runners, schools of pilchards,
and then the wahoo are there too. There's everything,
right?
Everything feeds when that's all getting pushed out like that, and so there's got to be a good wahoo bite. The only thing is can you fish it with the weeds out there, and how much of a pain in the butt is it going to be?
We've got some wind come on shore. We've been having these southwest and west winds, and it ain't happening right now. We got these light onshore winds, which is pushing everything back this way, which it's good in a way because you don't have to run as far out to get these dolphin, because there are a lot of them, they're going to move in. That wind's going to shift them in, correct?
Yeah.
So that keeps you won't have to make as far of a run to find bigger fish.
Yep.
But you're going to have to deal with a weed.
Yeah.
So we're back to rolling the dice like we did a couple weeks ago. And I said, whatever it is, just roll the dice and go fishing. If it's too weedy, I'll flatline a dead sardine.
Yeah.
Get up on a big patch of that and just shut it down for 10 minutes and do a drift and wait and see what happens. You'll never know what's coming up the pike and coming up underneath that patch. If they're on the move, sooner or later something's going to show up. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Well, a little trick too is if you catch a blue runner while you're bottom fishing and stuff, you can put it out, or if you catch a couple, put them in your live well. And towards some part of the day when you want to change it up, you can start bump trolling those blue runners. And believe it or not, if you don't put them out super far, a little trick is when there's scattered weed like that, and if you can get the rods, like if you have a kingfish holder, if you get the rod up on your T-top or leaning post.
Or your rocket launcher that sits right here behind you when you're sitting on your chair, on your seat.
That's right. So what happens is, and I noticed this especially this weekend, the blue runners, they swim around those weeds. And you got to watch it because they will get weeds on them occasionally. But if you can find that really happy medium where not a lot of line is sitting in that water, the blue runner will go around the weeds and they won't get weeded up.
And that's going to help you get out of the little kingfish.
Right.
Because the only thing, you're looking, if you can get a runner this big, the little kingfish ain't going to mess with it.
No.
You're looking for, that's the big kingfish are going to see it and be all over it. But now you're saying, if you go north, look for the porpoise. They're going to be around.
Yes.
And the commercial guys are hating that because that's...
Yep. We actually had a porpoise grab one of our blue runners and mess with it this weekend. He just pulled drag and everything, let it go, started reeling it in, came back, ate. Wasn't eating it, he was playing with it. But it was pretty interesting to see, and but that's what's going on. Kingfish and dolphin right now. You can't mess up with that. There's a lot of muttons around, but they are small.
Glad you touched on that. A lot of small muttons around. So if you're going to do the mutton thing, you're going to have to put your time in.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them around because these kingfish are up there 50 foot above them in the water column, just cutting all this stuff to pieces. Everything dropping down onto that reef or onto that patch sand, wherever these kings are located. Those muttons are down there picking up all them scraps.
Yep. And if you are going to snapper fish, make sure to have a venting tool on the boat because there are a lot of smaller snappers, so you can release them properly so they can grow up to be bigger. Releasing a short snapper that's going to die doesn't help our fishery either. So make sure you have a proper venting tool on board and know how to use it. So
I'm with you, brother.
Yep. And that's your X Generation Fishing Report, Offshore Report. Weather and predictions for this weekend. The weather's looking pretty awesome. It's basically southeast winds, 2 foot all weekend.
You can't go wrong.
No.
You cannot go wrong. I don't care what you're doing, you can't go wrong.
No. And yes, it's been hot out, but it hasn't been as hot as it has late. Like today I was outside all day, and it wasn't as hot as it was.
That little bit of sea breeze.
Yeah.
We got this little bit of wind coming on, and that's southeast wind.
Yeah.
And it's just that little bit of wind coming from, I don't know what does it, 10 mile an hour?
Yeah.
It's like somebody threw on an air conditioner.
Yep.
Offshore, what are you thinking?
Kingfish are going to continue to be good. Bottom fishing and dolphin fishing is going to continue to be good.
Scattered blackfin tuna? I know there's still some blackfins around.
I haven't had a good blackfin report, but that's just because I haven't been in tune with it.
All right, me either. I'm not targeting them, so go figure.
But we were just right before we were kind of like going over what's going to happen. So and Danny kind of figured out that go ahead and tell him the outgoing tide's first thing in the morning.
Well, and if you've got an outgoing tide early morning with all these strong tides that we're having, this is a good time to go out and drag. I might be out there dragging a wire line Saturday or Sunday morning early. I'm going to look and see which day is going to have the lighter wind, or find out what the weeds like Saturday.
Yeah.
Because I'm fighting weeds because I'm going to be cleaning a line. But still, I'm dying to catch a wahoo. The last 2 times I've been out, I've had hits, but missed them. So it's like, I'm dying to do that.
Yeah.
Inshore. Guys, this is it. This is the perfect stuff right here. If you got these high outgoing tides, when it's 3, 4 in the morning, if you can get out of bed and go anywhere around the inlets fishing for the snapper, you're going to get onto them. There's still some big Cubera snapper hanging out in the Palm Beach inlet. They're still catching some few Cubera snapper here and there off the Jupiter inlet. Boca's the same way. Don't let Boca Inlet fool you. There's some good Cubera snapper that move in on that inlet, but you want to get it before the daybreak stuff. As far as the snook bite goes, you know, the inlets, it's still going on. These fish are wrapping up their spawn, so they're still on the feed. There's still fish on the beaches. The tarpon bite inshore, I've been having a ball with these 15, 20-pound tarpon for the last week, and it's nothing better. You're going to see some big ones.
Yeah.
You get up around that Palm Beach Inlet, you're going to see some big ones. The trick for me was the live bait, guys. If you can get the live bait, small chum, and make it rain, chum with them suckers. Get those fish feeding 50 yards behind the boat, and then I use the spot lock for the trolling motor.
Yep.
Drop back to them, chum it up, light them up, hook them up.
Yeah, and I've been seeing them too when I'm heading back south from Palm Beach Inlet.
And that's on the beach side or inshore?
No, on the beach side.
Okay.
I've been seeing them.
They're everywhere.
In 20 to 30 feet of water, somewhere in that range, I've been seeing them roll over there, so they're there.
And you get out there.
Actually, I want to say it's probably more like 20 feet of water, right around there. I haven't been paying attention exactly where I am, but I'm south of Palm Beach, heading back to Boynton, and roughly about 20 feet of water. You'll see them. Just run that beach, and
you can get the small pilchards, the little 2.5, 3 inchers. That's the key. Chum them up. Chum them up. I can't say chum enough. If you want to light them, you want to light up the tarpon, chum them up.
There you go.
Burp.
That's your weekend report. It's good weather and should be great fishing. So,
love it. Go for it.